Good evening, everyone. It is Wednesday night, another wonderful Wednesday night. And here we are at the OTFB Football Podcast, the college edition. Woo! Um, as always, we've got Michelle with us, the sports jinx. One day, y'all, one day, work with me. I'll get it right. I promise. And then Kate unfortunately can't be here tonight, and that's okay. We can still pick up without her. We got this. Right, right. How are you, Michelle?
I'm great. It's hump day, so you got to be feeling good. I'm looking ahead. It's just 2 days left. 2 more days.
Exactly. Weekend, is that you out there? Yes, it is.
Yep, I can see it. I have a.
It's on the horizon. And
It's
I've been
on the
off this whole
horizon.
week. So I'm still like, weekend, is that you? Anyways, so yes, it's a wonderful hump day. For those of you all who are watching over on Twitter, if you're watching on Facebook, you need to head over to our YouTube channel. First of all, thank you for watching, but come on over to our YouTube channel so that you can interact with us and chat, and then we can put your comments on the screen because we love it. We love it. Oh, look, she loves your hat. Is that a Miami hat, Michelle?
Yes.
Okay, I
Well,
can.
it's orange and green, so it could be two things, but we'll take it. Miami, it is.
I was about to say it looks kind of orange and greenish. So I
Yeah,
was like,
really
is
dark,
it?
almost reddish orange, but it is.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Well, let's see. This week, I think we were going to talk about, right? Isn't she cool? Michelle's so super cool. She's far cooler than I. Just saying. I just have my Popeye shirt on today.
I love Popeye.
Got my Popeye shirt on. Woohoo! Anyways, I'm a goof, y'all, but thank God you guys know that and still watch us. Anyways, getting back to college football today, we kind of wanted to start really early, really, really early, looking at potential Heisman candidates. It's early, we know. We're going into what, week 4? And things like we're just starting to get into some conference play and stuff like that. Lots of still things going on. Florida State hasn't come back to earth yet, and will they I think they still will, but they've got some good competition coming up soon. Maybe not this week, I don't think, but still, I mean, it's early, but we can never start talking about these things too early. Just somebody to keep an eye on. Thank you, Kristen. Popeye would be a perfect school mascot. The Fighting Popeyes.
Hmm.
The Fighting Sailors. Navy. Navy needs to have Popeye. There we go. Okay, sorry. Did you all follow my train of thought there? Okay, sorry. Leave me alone, guys. Leave me alone. Anyways, but it's never too early to start thinking about who could get a Heisman. Now, we all remember last year's Heisman winner, Travis Hunter. You may have heard of him. That kid from Colorado, wide receiver, cornerback, drafted by the Jags, having a great season. Notice, though, that we said wide receiver, cornerback. He was not a quarterback. So Michelle and I both agree that this year it's going to a quarterback. Correct, Michelle?
Absolutely. I mean, if our good friend Lisa was here, she would be ecstatic. But we know that they love to give this award to quarterbacks or offensive player, but mainly quarterbacks. Every now and then they'll shoot us a little running back or something like that. But for the most part, they get desperate and get upset if we don't get quarterback. So, I'm going to go. My early pick is going to be a quarterback, just because
Same.
that's the way I know.
Right. I agree wholeheartedly. And yes, Lisa, you need to be here so that she can talk about your quarterbacks and who's your favorite so far. But I agree. I don't know why it tends to be a quarterback because, I mean, it's about the best player. And granted, yes, they get the whole shine, but there's better play, like there's more all around players, I think, besides just quarterbacks. But I will be picking a quarterback for this year too. Kristen has always come in with the great questions. Arch Manning good enough? I no, not yet. And that's okay. That's okay. He doesn't have to be, you know, he doesn't have to be paid. I mean, Eli didn't win a Heisman, right? He did. He wasn't great, I don't think, but he wasn't awful either. Arch, I don't think has what it takes right now. It's early. Things could change as they always do. I mean, look at Quinn Ewers last year. I was like, oh yeah, this kid's getting the Heisman for sure. And that totally changed. But it's early. I don't see Arch Manning as a Heisman candidate yet. Do you, Michelle?
I think that, and I probably said this last year, but I think that there is a lot of pressure on Arch to be a Manning. And
Yes.
granted, his name is Manning. Now, whether he's going to be Peyton or Eli is the question. I mean, his father, rumor has it is that his father was the best of the Mannings, but his father didn't make it, because of what, his injuries or whatever, that he actually comes from the best genes. But there is so much pressure on this kid to be great.
Mhm.
It's too much pressure on him. He doesn't have the opportunity to mess up, to learn, to get into the groove. Ever since he stepped on the field, even before he got on the field, because his last name is Manning, everybody expects him to be Peyton already or to be great. And I think that he's just okay. He didn't show me anything last year or anytime he's played that tells me that he's going to be that he's ready right now, that he's
Right.
already at that peak. So he still has time to grow. He needs to get a full season under his belt. And then maybe we can, we can see. But, I think everybody's going to want to draft him next year just because it's the pedigree of what they think is in his genes or what he may or may not do. And he may be a bust. We never know. But, we do know he'll get that opportunity because his name is Manning. But
Mhm.
right now, I just think it's a lot of pressure on him, and I think that he's trying to live up to that expectation. And he just needs to settle down, you know, play the game and let the game come to him.
Agree wholeheartedly, Michelle. I think that there's so much pressure on him. And also, though, there's that pressure, but then also, I don't think we as fans give kids enough time. And we want to see them now. And that's kind of how college has gone, actually, kind of how the NFL has gone. But it's not bad to give them time, to give them an opportunity to mess up and correct themselves, because it's not always a crystal stair. It's not always going to be easy. So we know that, let's watch him struggle. Let's see what he does. Let's see how he's able to build himself back up. And, if he's smart, he'll hang out a little bit longer and stay in college and do some things. I think, I mean, he's got access to whatever he needs to get better and improve. And maybe that's just all he needs is just some time. That's okay, guys. These kids can take time, and that's totally fine.
I mean, look at Bo
Stevie's
Nix.
here.
Some people played like 7 years. I don't know how long he played, but it seemed like it was like 10 years. But,
Right.
the COVID year gave a lot of these players and quarterbacks and everybody so much time to stay in college and develop. And I think that we're finally at the end of that COVID year stuff. But, there is no motivation to leave early anymore for a lot of the players since they can be paid and get their NIL now. So you may as well stay and keep, get your money and develop. But for Arch, it's not like he needs that either way. I think that everybody's going to be clawing at him and pulling at him and trying to get him to
Hmm.
come out next year. So, and I'm also think that there'll be some big booster that'll give him enough or, do enough to make him stay. So I just don't look at him and says he's ready to go. I mean, some
No.
quarterbacks, they're overhyped. I just think right now he's just as hyped as a Manning, but we haven't given him the opportunity to develop and see what he actually has. I'm going to
Agree.
wait.
I'm going to wait on him too. I I think that that is perfectly fine because I think he needs to grow a little bit. Hang on one second, y'all. Being a mom. But also, Big Red, who, where are you, buddy? He's not here right now. He has been banging the drum for one of his South Carolina players, which totally fine. And you know what? That's okay. You can do that. Um, but his name, because he said, look him up. And I said, you know what? I'm going to, because I don't follow South Carolina that often, because,
Party.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but because it's Big Red, I'm going to look him up.
Mm-hmm.
It's a quarterback, Lenora Sellers. Now, he's got great numbers. He threw last year, he threw for over 2,500 yards. He had a completion percentage, and 65%. Not awful. Not awful. His rating for the year was 151. So far this year, he's kind of on that same track. Completing about 64% of his passes. So far has 400 yards. Ratings about 155. Now, I'll be 100% honest. I haven't looked at him quite yet in game film, like gone back and looked at some old South Carolina games. And I will just now because this is why this show is so cool, because we get friends of people and they're fans of different teams, and then you kind of keep an eye on them. So that's why I love that. So I think I will be starting to pay a little bit more attention to South Carolina and the Gamecocks. So yeah, that's another kid that I will keep my eye on. Like I said, Big Red's not here to bang the drum, but it's okay. It's totally fine. I'm going to do that for him. So that's another kid I'm going to keep an eye on. Lenora Sellers, South Carolina. Do you have anybody else, Michelle?
So I haven't given mine, but of course I'm gonna be biased here, and I'm gonna put we talked about, I think we talked about, maybe we weren't on air, but we did talk about John Mateer. I think that's how you pronounce his name.
Yep.
Oklahoma, the quarterback from Oklahoma. He's having a pretty decent year, but I'm gonna go Carson Beck, who left Georgia and now is at the U.
Yeah.
And they look really good, and he's looked pretty good. He's had 7 touchdowns this year, over 800 yards passing. He's averaging about 270 yards a game. QBR ratings are like 183, 184. He's having a good early season, and they have some big games. And they play Florida. This is another big game. They have a chance to run the state. They play Florida State. They just beat South Florida. But yeah, my early pick is going to be Carson Beck right now.
I think that's really good. I think that's a very good one. And he wasn't awful at Georgia. I think he probably just needed a little bit of change of scenery. And now with NIL and the way college is, you can do that. You can make that change. So I think that'll be fun to watch. Yeah, my other guy was John Mateer, the Sooner quarterback. He has kind of played around a lot, but he looked really good when they played Michigan. Again, he's had, let's see, last year he threw for over 3,000 yards with a rating of 164. This year, again, kind of right there, is almost already thrown for 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns with a rating of 153. That's another kiddo to kind of keep an eye on as well. Again, he just looked really good. He, again, against Michigan, and again, that was a very good game, I think. They were terrific defense from Oklahoma. They were on fire. And I think that's another one I'll be keeping my eye on. Kristen asked anyone from Michigan or Miami, and we talked about Carson Beck from Miami. But Michigan, not yet. Bryce Underwood is our new quarterback this year. He is a freshman. And they say this every single broadcast, every single game, that he just turned 18, guys, about a month ago. He just turned 18. Like the first game of the season. They're like, he turned 18 2 weeks ago.
He's a youngin'.
He's a baby. He's a baby. So he's got time. He looks very good. I have to ask our friend Lisa again if she's watched him throw, because my husband Greg he likes quarterbacks too, and he's made some comparisons, and I want to see if he sees what she sees or vice versa. And I'm not going to say it out loud because you guys will be like, you're crazy. But But still, I just want to see if she maybe sees it. Have you watched him play at all this year?
Who?
Bryce Underwood, Michigan's quarterback.
Oh, yep. I saw the first game. I didn't
Hmm.
see. Yeah, I saw the first game. I saw the first game.
Oh yeah, New Mexico. Yeah. What do you think of him?
It looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think everyone that we've named so far, even sellers, they've looked pretty good so far. It's and again, the schedule and who they're playing now.
Yeah.
And I try to look at that as well. I mean, I know Miami's jumped out with a big game, and Beck
Hmm.
did a well job, and then the South Florida, who was ranked in the top 25, he did well that, and then they had a little mushy game with Bethune Cookman, but he's played well, and you look at some of the schedules and you just try to see how are they looking against teams that we expect them to give a competition, and so far so good, but it's early as we say,
Early, early.
early, so things can change.
Of course, things can change always. And, there could be a running back in the running. Sorry. Highly doubt it this year because they went wide receiver cornerback last year. But you never know. There could be. I mean, they like to add them just for razzle dazzle. You feel kind of bad for them because they're not going to get it. But still.
I mean,
Um,
it could be Nebraska's quarterback. Who knows? It could be anyone.
you never know. Wait,
Yeah.
is Nebraska's quarterback Rayola's kid, that Rayola kid?
Dylan, yeah,
Yeah.
Ray. I'm not gonna say what I call him, so I think it's Rayola or
Yeah,
something
it's
like
Rayola. It's
Rayola.
his dad I think was the center um
Yep.
in at for the Lions, and I was not a huge fan of his dad as a center. So there's that. There's that.
Well, he has 8 touchdowns and no interceptions, so he's doing pretty good. He's about the
He's
only
doing
one
pretty good.
out of the pack that doesn't have any. So go
What'd you say?
Rail. He doesn't like your dad, but go Rail. His dad has probably taught him a whole lot though as a center.
He probably has, and he's probably shown him a lot. So that's very good. That's very good. Um, Steven's got a great question. Any games that happened so far that surprised us? Um, Florida losing to South Florida, I think, was probably my biggest surprise so far. Um, just because I think that this kind of was supposed to be Florida's year to kind of start getting things together, and you don't expect that from them. But of late, you kind of have to, I think. And so thinking that they were going to win that game and they didn't, I guess they're still just the Florida that, just can't get right now. That's my biggest surprise, I think.
I
What
think.
about you?
Well, that was a big surprise. Florida State winning
Yeah.
was a big surprise, considering how they looked last year, and I think that was a big surprise. I can't really say North Carolina losing the way they did was a big surprise. Um,
No.
um, but what was a surprise was the amount of fanfare that they had in there. I think the biggest surprise for me right now is Notre Dame being 0-2 or 0-3, 0-2.
Um, yeah. Yeah,
And
they're 0
that's,
2.
I think Notre Dame being 0-2. I mean, I was expecting and hoping that they would lose the first game, but I thought they would be able to bounce back last week. Um, but them being 0-2, and the question on everybody's mind now is, with their 0-2 start and them not being in the conference, can they work themselves back into the college football playoffs scene? That's the question.
Are they on a bye? No, they're just not ranked this week.
No,
That's about
Notre Dame had the biggest drop in the AP poll. They dropped 16 spots in the poll. Well, yeah, they dropped 16 spots, but South Carolina dropped out of the top 25. Clemson dropped out. South Florida dropped out. So, but yeah,
yeah.
the question, can Notre Dame? Do we think Notre Dame can get back into the college football playoffs? I know, and I said this week one, how the college football voters feel about Notre Dame and Alabama. So they do think they try to keep them in there as much as they can
They
because
do.
who they are. But realistically, can they fight their way back without being in the conference and playing in a conference championship?
No. I mean, it's gonna be tough. I'm looking at their games coming up. So they have Purdue unranked. They have Arkansas unranked, Boise State, North Carolina State, and then USC is their next ranked one in October. These are all very winnable games for them. And if they're able to turn it around, great. But it could potentially be kind of hard. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie.
I think their biggest problem is they've played their meat in the beginning and they don't really have big any big games on their schedule left that's going to make people say, "Oh, but they dominated so and so."
Right.
I think they play USC.
Yep.
They play USC. The Boise States and the teams in the ACC, but they don't really have anyone. They don't have anyone that's. I think that they can go undefeated and still may not make it.
Yeah.
But the guy, I would say this: they can go undefeated and probably shouldn't make it. But I also know how they feel about Notre Dame and having them in the contest, so they may just find a way to put them in there. But I can't see them, even if they go undefeated, making their way back unless we have an outrageous college football season this year. And there are lots of losses.
I will agree. I mean,
What do you
looking
guys
at it,
think in the comments?
so let's see. Kristen is surprised that they're 0-2, right? Kind of, yeah. Um, they don't play anybody ranked right now in theory, looking at how their schedule lines up until they play USC and they're 25. So again, if they run the table, they only technically will face only one ranked opponent. So that really is not in their favor.
Right.
Um, do they have any star players? Kristen coming with the great questions. I love Kristen's questions. um, their quarterback, I know, is former Michigan coach Lloyd Carr's grandson. And so he was recruited at Michigan, but kind of wanted to forge his own way and went to Notre Dame. So that's basically the biggest star that I know of. Um, Michelle, am I missing somebody like
They,
obvious?
they have a pretty good running game. But they don't have anyone that everybody's talking about. But
No.
they have some runners back there, behind that line. I forget the young fellow's name.
Jeremiah Love.
Yes, there you go.
Yep. Yep.
But I
Jeremiah Love.
like Steven's question is who is the dark horse for college football playoffs this year?
That's a very good question.
That's a good one.
Mm.
A dark horse.
Mm.
I would say, well,
I
the
don't
dark
know.
horse would be Illinois.
Oh, that's a good dark horse.
I would say Illinois because Illinois is like in the top 10 and nobody. You remember how Indiana had that run like 2 years ago?
Yep.
And everybody's like, Indiana, the basketball school? Well, here's another basketball school, Illinois. And
Illinois.
here's
Yeah.
Illinois, coming in here, in the top 10. They're undefeated so far this season. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
interested to see. I think they have a big game coming up this week. They play Indiana.
Yep.
Matter of fact, this weekend. So they could be a dark horse.
Yes,
Steven
they could.
says Kansas State for him. I like them because they look like the Cowboys, but anyway, Illinois.
Oh goodness. Who is my dark horse? Kind of
Yeah.
looking through. Hmm. I don't know. Yeesh. I mean, they're all kind of right there. I'd have to stay with Illinois too, because nobody expects them. Nobody is going to see them coming if that's the case. I
And can't
mean,
you hear all of the fans just like they did last year? Because if they're not big names in it, they think nobody's gonna watch. When if the game is on, we're gonna watch it. Period. It doesn't matter who's
exactly.
playing in the championship, we will be there. But I can hear everybody now. If Illinois is in that playoff and they make it all the way to the final game, and folks are like pissed because it's Illinois, and nobody's gonna watch that. And then it turns out to be a great game.
I was about to say, people are going to watch them.
But
People
that's
are
going to be the
definitely going
conversation
to.
because they said the same thing about last year.
They
And they
did,
said
didn't
it in the NBA playoffs, and I thought it was one of the best NBA playoffs that we've had in a long time.
they? Yep. Kristen asked another great question. Who comes up with the ranks? Ah, very good. So you have, and see, people don't always think about this, but it's true. So you have the AP polls, and correct me if I'm wrong, Michelle. Then you have the coaches polls. So those two, yes, I know. Coaches poll, they pull all the coaches. I don't know if it's just like Power Five coaches or if it's like,
FBS coaches, yeah,
hmm?
the FBS coaches.
Okay, so they pull all the FBS coaches. Okay, cool. So they pull all the FBS coaches and just say, okay, who do you rank where? And so then they kind of just put it in numbers. They do numbers, and then the numbers come out with their rankings. And those are usually pretty similar to the AP poll. The AP poll is typically
Associated
done,
Press.
yes, Associated Press. So that one is done usually by sports reporters, beat writers, not necessarily people who are in the game, but watch the game, know the game,
That's the
study.
media. Yep, that's the media poll. So
Exactly. So sometimes you'll see differences, and I kind of tend to lean a little bit more towards the coaches because they know a little bit more, they see a little bit more than, or at least a different take than the AP, but usually they are all very much the same. So,
see, I'm
yeah.
the opposite, and maybe that's because I'm a media person. Back my
True.
background and the media. I think it's good to have both. I think I said this before. It's good to have both.
Agree.
Um, and coaches really watch their games and who they play.
True. True.
Media,
Looks
media.
at everybody.
Well, your beat writers are there. They probably watch all your games. They're there. They travel. A lot of them travel with the teams. They travel to all of the games. They're there. They watch as much as everybody else. People just don't take what they say into consideration because they're not playing or they're not coaching, but they're there. And they watch just as much film. A lot of them watch film and do the same thing that the players are doing. But I think it's great to have both polls and to have both sides, and they're usually right on par,
I was about to
both the
say they're
media and the
usually right
coaches.
on
So,
par.
yeah.
And then,
Sometimes you have some media that they don't watch anything, or they have their biases, but so do coaches. Understand
agreed.
that some coaches are not going to vote for some people because they don't want them to be higher than them, or they want to bring their own team down, so they vote everybody else high. So I mean, p- they're human, right? So people play games, and
Exactly.
that's just how it is with polls. I
Exactly.
don't
And
put
then,
too much weight on polls anyway because you got to play the game.
right, you have to play the game. You have to play the game. And that's really where it's going to come down, what it's going to come down to. And then also, kind of in this vein, too, is now that we have the playoff system, you have your playoff committee. You'll hear us talk a lot about the committee. And so that's a group of people, just they're affiliated with sports, but they're kind of random. So I think you have like athletic directors, because I think Ward Manuel is part of it. You have, you know, beat writers. You have also just citizens, because if I'm not mistaken, Condoleezza Rice was on the committee once, or is she still on? Something like
Yeah,
that.
but she wouldn't be considered a citizen per se, and she's a part owner of the Denver team. She's around sports a lot. Like
True.
she's really around sports, and especially football. Um,
She loves
um,
football.
yeah, she really is. I got to meet her a couple of times at the Final Four, but no, I did this.
Wow, that's cool. But yeah, so the playoff committee is people that are associated with sports, but not
Hmm.
necessarily a
Right.
writer or a coach,
Or a
but
coach.
still
Right.
associated. Yeah, still associated. And they are the ones that determine the final playoff rankings. And so, in December, when the rankings come out just before the NFL games on that Sunday, everybody's right. That's the committee's work. So
Yep.
they
And it
kind
could
of
be
take,
former, like old former players, or
yep,
athletic. A lot of athletic directors were players back in the day, or coaches back in the day. So you have some of those people, sports information people, or media
hmm,
relations people, and some of those people. So a mixture of people, which is good.
agree. Again, it's very good. So yeah, so that's the college playoff rankings. So hopefully that helps, Kristen. Hopefully that answers your question some. Um, if not, let us know. We'll try better. And for anybody watching, if you guys had that question, totally fine. Ask away. We don't care. We'll answer whatever. So hopefully that kind of helps clear things up, because sometimes it can be a little crazy like mud. Now, I will say that this system is probably a little bit better than the BCS system before all of this, where just
Yeah.
random put it into the computer and blah, it spits out, and there you go.
Yeah. I've
I like
always wanted a playoff, even when my team, I hated that, whoever finished in the poll, they were the national championship. I'm like, listen, the 1AA, which who they call FCS now, they've been playing playoffs all this time to
true.
decide a champion. Why can't they do this on a big level? So I'm happy that we have a college football playoff, and I'm also happy that they've extended it for more teams, because I always thought it needed to be more than four.
Hmm.
That's for sure. So I'm excited. I can't wait. I'm waiting to see who's gonna make it. I don't have a favorite. Well, I know who I'm pulling for, but I don't know. I don't have a favorite of who's gonna win. I have no idea who's gonna win this championship. But I'm
I
hoping
know.
it's all about
The Who,
the
whatever.
you.
Honestly, I would be happy. I don't think Michigan's going to do it. Would I be super happy? Of course. But yeah, could it be where I'm paying tuition now? Go Tigers,
Oh,
LSU.
oh my good. I want to see someone who hasn't won in a while.
Agree.
That's what I want to see.
Agree.
That would be the you. We haven't won in a while. But
Y'all have not won in a minute.
right. Oh, yeah. That's like all my teams. I can go down the line.
Yeah, especially though. Never mind. It's the college show.
Yep.
Anyway, uh,
Now you hear this is a Lions fan talking now, right?
right. You're right. I can't say not narrow word. Not narrow word. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm looking to see who's coming up this weekend. If there's any like really good games this weekend. Um, Actually, Auburn, Oklahoma might
Yep.
actually be pretty good. That's Saturday at 3:30. I think that'll be very good.
Yep.
Um, I get to see Mr. Mateer, see if he's gonna live up to the hype. Steven, stop it.
What is Steven? Do we need? We are better. We are a better country without the U. No, we're not, Stephen. We college football is better when the U is winning, because you get to see all of those fabulous, wonderful pro Hall of Fame players that they've got into the NFL on the sidelines. The thing that they have every other college doing now.
True.
This country, college football, and everything else is better when the U is playing well.
I'll agree. Yeah. I mean, y'all have fun on the sideline, especially you get Mike Irvin down there, and
I
oh,
worry about Michael Irvin. Though. I don't want.
he he's excited. You get him, you get Ed Reed, you get Ray Lewis, you get them all down there. They just have a good time.
It's just so many of them. It's so many of them. Some
Warren
of them people
Sapp.
don't even know. Yeah, it's so many. It's so many of them.
Yeah.
Jeremy Shockey, you know,
Oh yes,
who knows
Jeremy
him?
Shockey,
Who knows
Greg.
him? So we got Auburn. So Auburn in Oklahoma. That's a 3:30 game, which is probably
Yep.
going to be. We're hoping that'll be a good game. I don't know about the early games. I know there are two ranked teams, Texas Tech
And
and
Utah.
Utah, are playing at 12 or 12. Yeah,
Yeah, they play at noon.
and then the
That
night
might
two
not be
night
so bad.
games, Illinois, Indiana, and then of course I'll have my eyes on the Florida battle, um, the Gators and the Hurricanes. But we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the
Mm-hmm.
games we may not think are going to be good are going to probably be good. That usually happens.
It does. And then we have another rivalry game this week, Oregon State.
Yep. Oregon State's not looking good. They've looked good in the past, but I mean I think they did lose the coach, but they're not looking really good this so
No.
far this year.
No, they most likely will get blown out by Oregon.
And Michigan,
But
Nebraska may be a good game.
what?
Um, Michigan versus Nebraska may be a good game.
I think
Nebraska's
that
not
might
ranked,
be
but
a
I
good.
think that may be a good one.
Oh yeah, Nebraska's 3-0. I just noticed that. Look
Yeah,
at that. That'll
yeah.
be a good one.
Can Purdue beat Notre Dame? Can Notre Dame bounce back and get a win?
They're at home this weekend, Notre Dame is.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
And
We
what
will
about
see.
South Carolina and Missouri? South Carolina got knocked out of the out of the top 25.
They did. And their quarterback could be injured too.
Could
So
be.
Mr. Sellers, he could be playing injured. And so that might also kind of hurt his Heisman chances as well. But
Hmm.
if he's healthy, I think they got a decent chance.
Yeah.
I
So
think they got a decent chance. So I'll tune into that one too. There'll be some great games this weekend.
we'll see.
I'm excited. Huh?
I say we'll see.
Oh. Oh. And then there's that big rivalry game, late night. The Trojans and the Spartans. And I saw somewhere it was like, if they're not playing for the Trojan Horse Cup, then what is this all about?
Michigan State
Yep.
and USC.
USC. That might actually be kind of a good game for those that want to stay up late, like Michelle sometimes does.
Oh yes, the Pac-12 games, and I still call them the Pac-12. They'll be on late on Fox.
Yep.
It's usually a game starts about 10 or 11 o'clock.
I was about to say this one's at 11 o'clock. So, yep, it'll be a very, very good game.
I'll be up.
I know you will. I might not be. Oh, my goodness, y'all. Well, of course, it's been another great week. Thank y'all for tuning in. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. I hope, yes, late night football is totally Michelle's favorite. And yes, if you ever have insomnia and can't sleep, I'm sure Michelle will be watching a game. So there's that.
And tweeting and live tweeting about it.
Exactly. She can always say hi. But anyways, y'all have a great rest of your week. Stay safe. Enjoy some football this weekend, and take a look. See who you guys might be a good Heisman candidate. We'd love to have that in the mix, but you know it's going to be a quarterback this year. Okay.
I'm gonna find a running back the next time we have this conversation.
Okay, yeah. Let's look at running backs. Okay, everybody pick a running back. That's your homework assignment, okay? Everybody pick a running back. All right, you guys. We'll see you next Wednesday, okay? Have a good night.
Peace.
Bye.